Alrighty, welcome guys to this lecture. We're gonna be doing some finer details on the back of our creature. Remember we just left everything very flat and so forth. So using our favorite brush, the clay strips, the clay brush which leaves some lines, some rough lines, kind of like mimics clay and how it will interact. Here now it's just come in. The way I am moving the stroke is somewhat like following the muscle striations, how the muscles would flow. I tend to use that technique. So once we're going to be adding those rougher lines, those tertiary details, those finer lines, it's quite very easy for us to get there because we already have a base or a foundation per se. Right now everything's still tricky as we're still trying to find the shapes and how everything will be laying out. Having symmetry helps a lot here, since we don't need to worry about the other side. So we're just building those forms now. Very rough. Just coming in very rough. Following the muscle striation. Normally you would call these muscle in animals the latissimus, and also in humans the latissimus dorsi. So I'm trying to remix and change the shape of that muscle from the original shape, which is very tricky at this stage because we don't know the forms and stuff, so we don't control. Just dialing that down and blending the deltoid with the trapezius there on top. Smooth it out, hold on shift. Smoothing that out, it's way too rough. So you see we still haven't found our shapes, so it's a matter of just going back and forth now. Trying to find our forms very closely. Just carving with the draw sharp. Now look at those lines I was talking to you about. That we already have them, and they serve as guidelines as to where we would want to redefine or emphasize the design shape. So they're very useful to me, and I'm just gonna carve that in. Decrease that by size and just carving and creating those finer lines, and over here separating that. And carve that with a larger brush size. Again, just separating the lats with the other muscles, trying to create that overlapping. As you can see, I'm still finding how these will work out. I don't know. It's like finding these shapes are it's very hard, and how everything will look like. It's kind of tricky, and sometimes it takes time. I really like muscle overlapping, so I'm just using the draw brush to create that from the edge of the lat and go back to the clay strips, just building around that before that line is too much. And then coming on the other side, smooth that out, hold shift. Like looking from far and then zooming back in kind of helps you to see the shapes rather than just being too stuck to just look at details. And sometimes your details are not working fine. Those fine details because your shapes are not well. So you basically trying to fight the shapes, like going against them. You see how my design process is. It's following the primary and secondary forms to add those fine details. So these primary forms are my guideline. They are what I use to get all those finer details. We are just looking for how this will interact at the very end, just carving that in, creating some folds of these two muscles when they interact. So in the clay strips, to go around those lines to build those forms, smooth that out, hold on shift. Then just using the clay strips again. Smooth that out, hold on shift. And again, I'm carving that in like so. So I'm just going to build those forms around it like that. I still don't know where to insert this. Still trying to find a better place for it, and which is suitable. Now this is very tricky because I understand like most of this will be actually covered in fur. Like some of the finer details won't be even visible. So, but then the major shapes will be. So it helps a lot to make sure that you actually have them in place. And again, me following our major forms with the draw sharp kind of works like the Damian standard in ZBrush, because it just carves in and gives it a bit of pinching going on. And it's like a great brush to create those lines and wrinkles all by hand. So this takes time, but it is like one of the most like rewarding process. Yeah. So like looking at these bigger forms, I know I need to smooth them out where they like over exaggerated. So holding control to do an invert, creating that muscle. Still don't like the shape. Probably going to change it. How it flaps around. When I look from far, it doesn't sit right with me. Zoom in here, decrease the brush size over there. Just gonna carve that in like that. The serrata center and the obliques as they interact. Over there. Just creating those finer lines, those fine details. For all the back muscles. Smooth that out. Just carving that in now. Now just look at those bigger shapes, how they actually helped us to move very, very quickly with this process. The process of adding these fine details. Having these forms already in place, we don't need to worry about looking, okay, where should we add this? How these lines should be flowing and stuff. Everything just seems to work very perfectly because we spent most of our time just creating those shapes, those forms. Now everything seems to be working very, very, very nice. Just gonna call that in. Like that. Creating those finer lines and stretches. Redefining our major shapes. Again, just using the same brushes over here. They can almost do the entire work that you would require. Just going around now. Again, having symmetry turned on. It helps us to not worry about the other side. Like so. Still carving it as you see. Just want to carve it over there, just turn that. Just redefining that now. Even more than previously. And now like I found the origins and the insertion. I'm just going to insert it over there at the back, which is not anatomically correct, but it works at this stage and kind of looks nice. Just not happy about this shape. Hold on F to increase the brush size with the grab brush, just making this a bit straight. Yeah, smooth that out. Hold on Shift, then just move it with the grab brush. Just making that line a bit straight, like so. Then go back to the draw shop and just carve those in very hard. Smooth that out and grab the clay strips, and then around those line and harder edges, just building those forms again. Like that, just building them up. Again, thank you guys for your time. See you in the next one.